Austin, welcome to New York. Looking forward to working with you here. Just a quick question on your backgrounds with Coach. Obviously, he won a title with your dad. Can you tell us about your relationship with him? You were in high school at the time, but how your relationship has evolved and what you're looking forward to in terms of playing for him here?
Oh yeah, it's obviously going to. Well, first and foremost, I look forward to working with all of you. I'm excited to be here and thankful for the opportunity. To answer your question, I knew Tibbs pretty well, Coach, and then but I didn't grow up in Boston. So, I grew up in Orlando, so I lived with my mom. So I wasn't around as much as what people probably think. But I was able to know him well enough to know that he gets after it, and it's different. It's going to be different. I can't speak for playing for him because I haven't done it before. But what I heard is, Tibbs is one of those guys that he's going to play the guys that's going to give him the best chance to win. He wants guys to compete and go after it every night, and that's what I look forward to doing. So I'm really excited to play for a caliber of a coach like him, to be in a city like New York, playing for someone like him with a Knicks jersey on is pretty exciting.
Next question comes from Justin Walters, WPIX.
Hey, Austin. Welcome to New York. We've seen a lot of free agents in the past not want to come to MSG, and we just had Alec on, and he was speaking about how New York is still the mecca of basketball to him. So I was wondering what attracted to you coming to the Knicks. And then the second part to that question, what was the best advice your dad gave you about playing in New York?
It's funny. I think we're caught in an era where everybody likes riding a wave, and people want to go to places that are already on the rise, or go to teams and franchises that are doing really well, and people have lost interest in going somewhere and making something great again. So I don't understand the opportunity of people. I don't understand someone not wanting to play for a city like New York. I just didn't get that. I still don't understand that. So for me, the opportunity was obvious to play like Alec alluded to, in a city that is regarded as the mecca of basketball, with the fans that they have. Why not try to be a part of something special? Everything right now is headed in the right direction. From the hiring of the coach to the hiring of the management and assistant coaches, and the picks that they've drafted and the players that we've established this year. We're building. You know what I mean? So I think to be a part of something is special. You know what I mean? It's easy to go somewhere where everything is already set up and they've been in the playoffs 4 or 5 years in a row. I've been on those teams, and those are great experiences, but I want to take those experiences and those lessons and help this team and this organization in many ways as possible. And I'm sure Alec feels the same way. So I think just being a part of, I think that era of, like what you said, of people not wanting to come here, our job is to change that, you know what I mean? And we got to make it attractive. And we will, because we have everything else. You got the city of New York. You got the best fans in basketball. You got you play in the Madison Square Garden every night. You got the style of living. You got all of that. So it's our job to, as players, because the management, they can only do so much. So it's exciting. I wanted to be a part of that. Why not? You know what I mean? So I'm really excited for that.
Next question comes from Steph Bondi, the Daily News.
Hey, Austin, how you doing?
How you doing?
All right, man. I was going to ask about your decision to come here, but I guess to that point, is the way to make this an attractive destination? I know you said that's part of your mission. Is it just about winning?
No, it's got to be. I mean, that's why we're here. It's got to be about competing. Listen, you throw the word winning around like, well, listen, we're gonna win a championship this year. I don't know, but we have to continue to build in the right direction. You know what I'm saying? We got to set realistic goals, and we see this. I look at this year, and you look at the playoffs and 8 seeds, and we got to compete. You know what I mean? We got to be competitive, and for us, and how young this team is, we got a really young team. I went from being one of the youngest players on the team last year to being the second oldest on this team. So that's a big difference, and we have to play hard every night. Every night we got to outplay the team in effort. because that's going to give us a chance to compete and win that game. We don't have 4 or 5 all-stars on this team. We don't have superstars on this team, but we have talented young players, and we have a lot of opportunity. You never know what someone can become on this team. You know what I mean? I think that's what attracts guys like Alec and me, because you bet on yourself and you go somewhere like here and you try to establish yourself and you try to help these young guys grow and be a great vet and compete. You know, that's what drew me to this team, is to be a good vet, to help these young guys and to establish myself and compete and try to go out there and just compete every night, try to win games, man. You know what I mean? Where we'll end up, we'll see, time will tell. But that's what we got to do. And I look at this team, and I remember my pops a couple years ago with the Clippers had a team where they had to trade everybody away. They traded, Chris and Blake and JJ, Jamal, myself. We were all gone, and they kind of had that restart team, but they played so well, and they went to that playoffs. I don't know if you guys remember, and they competed versus the Warriors, which made it a very attractive team now. You know what I mean? And then superstars wanted to go there because they knew the role players that they had there were solid, if you understand what I'm trying to say. So we got to make this, attractive, and we got to compete. That's the biggest thing. That's got to be our number one advantage, is we got to play harder than everybody. So, yeah.
Next question comes from Mark Berman in the New York Post.
Hey, Austin. How much did you consider the Philadelphia 76ers and your role? I mean, do you feel as a veteran you could be a starter here?
My role is going to be to help the team win. You know what I mean? If they start me, great. If they don't, I'm still going to be in there competing every night. So regardless, for me, it's never been about starting the game. It's been about finishing the game. And for me, regardless of what it is, you got to buy into the team and whatever the team needs you to do. So wherever Tibbs and them see me fit, I'm going to be productive. I know that. So I look forward to that. And in terms of playing for my father, that was an amazing experience that me and him got to do. But, that was that.
Next question comes from Ian Begley, SNY.
Austin, thanks for doing this. Just as an opponent, what did you see from some of the players that you're going to be joining now on this team, the young Knicks, like R.J. Barrett, Mitchell Robinson? Any of those players stand out to you when you played against them?
Yeah, they're talented, man. Really talented guys. Obi Toppin is beyond a freak athlete, like beyond a freak athlete. He's gonna be really good. And obviously I didn't get to play against him last year, but just seeing him in here, my God. And RJ's a talented. Julius is he scores with ease. They have a lot. Center Mitchell is he reminds me of DeAndre Jordan back in LA. So they have a lot of good young talented pieces, and that's what I looked last year. And I was just talking to him in the locker room, just being one of the players in the other team. We don't have a home court advantage. The Knicks never have, because every away game you're getting the best. You're getting the best out of the opposite team, because everybody wants to play well in the Madison Square Garden. Everybody comes here with their A game, so you don't get to just have a home court advantage. You don't have guys coming in, bullshitting around. Every time you play in the Madison Square Garden, you're gonna get the best effort of the opposite team. So we're gonna have to play super hard and compete. I think it makes it more fun. Why not? It's a bigger stage, and we have young guys that are talented that I saw last year that I think now will be able to compete every night.
Next question comes from Rebecca Harlow of MSG.
Austin, I love your attitude that you want to bring to this team in terms of just competing harder every single night than other teams that you're playing against. But at this level, that's obviously easier said than done. You've been on some very competitive teams, some very good teams. What else is it going to take with these young players in terms of what you need to instill so that you can get them to compete at that level?
A lot of it's you learn from mistakes. This is going to be a lot of these guys first time. Obviously, we got some young guys playing, rookies, and then we got some second, third year guys that are still trying to figure it out. So it just takes time. I look forward to this is my first time being in this role. being one of the older guys, and I'm so used to being, like you said, on those teams. So, it's just going to take patience for one. You got to have patience with younger players. And then you got to continue to push each other. We got to push each other. We got to hold each other accountable. We got to be super close. We can't be a young team and everybody's distant and said. We got to be one of the closest teams in the NBA. We got to, I know it's a pandemic, so it's hard to hang out and do stuff, but we got to be a real close-knit group. We got to have each other's back. And like you said, I know I throw the word, we got to compete every night. That's not enough sometimes, obviously, in this league, as you all know. But it will give us the best chance, every night to try to get a win. I've already looked at that. I'm looking already at the eight spots, and who's going to be slotted where and who we have to beat out to try to get in there, or at least compete to try to get there. So, we're not here just to play and lose. That's not what I do. So. They didn't bring Tibbs for that. Tibbs is not good at that. Tibbs is a great coach. He want to win. So my mindset every day is just try to make my teammates better, man, and just try to help in many ways as possible. I'm just trying to help these guys get better. They're talented. We got a lot of talented guys here. So it's there. We just got to keep pushing each other. It's going to be a process, though. But we got to keep building, and it starts every day now.
Well, we have time for 3 more questions. The next one comes from Steve Popper, Newsday.
Hey, Austin. Thanks for doing this. You were talking about building and what it takes for young players. Are you surprised sometimes how fragile that can be? Like what happened in Houston that, you leave, Robert leaves, Daryl, Mike, or whether you dad with the Clippers, and even they talk about James and Russell could possibly being on the block.
Yeah.
Are you surprised how fragile it is to build something and hold it together?
It's hard, man. I think people don't understand or some people just really don't understand how hard it is to win, and how hard it is to consistently be good. You look at organizations like San Antonio, and the list is long, but I can name other teams, Boston, whoever. To be good and stay good is hard, and you got to have patience, and you got to have guys that buy in. That's the key. You got to have guys that buy in. Otherwise, it's in today's day, you can have players that can demand trades and ask for this. It's just different. It's not like how it was even when I first got drafted, which wasn't that long ago, but still it's changed that much. So, it's tough, but the good thing is we do play in New York, man. This should be a place where people want to play. If you're a real hooper, if you really like playing on the biggest stage, this is it. It's like why guys like playing for the Lakers. The Knicks is the same way. So we have to make it. We have to get us there. We have to. And it starts. I think this year with all the changes that have been made, so we got to build. That's all I preach every day in the locker room is, whatever's happened last year in the past, that's gone. And I'm not saying we're going to be some whatever team, but we got to continue to grow. We got to continue to be better, and not be frustrated. It's such a long season, so you lose a couple of games in a row, we got to stay with it. We can't second guess nothing. We have to trust Tibbs. We have to buy in. Everybody got to buy into their role. And you just go from there.
Our next question comes from Steph Bondy, the Daily News.
Hey, I know you had a free agency meeting with the Knicks in 2016, and I guess considered them. But this time around, were there any other options? Can you take me a little bit through the free agency process and what the different options were?
Yeah, of course, man. Damn. Yeah, there were other places. The opportunity here was too big of something to pass up. You know what I mean? I look where I've been and who I've been playing with the past 5-6 years, man. You know what I mean? So this was an opportunity that I've never really had in terms of coming somewhere like here, and we're all kind of, fighting for something, and the opportunity's up in the air, if that makes sense. Everywhere I've gone, I've played with, top of the top, and you're slotted where you're supposed to be, and then you do your job. So to have an opportunity like this in a city like this, and no matter where they put me, starter, not starter, makes no difference. you go compete. And I couldn't pass something like that up. And the other teams that were interested, I don't really care to say their names just because I'm not there. So it makes no difference. But most of them were playoff teams, to be completely honest. I'd probably say like the other 3 or 4 teams were all playoff teams.
And our last question comes from Brian Mahoney, the Associated Press.
Hey, Austin, just going back to, were you surprised at everything that's happened in Houston since things ended? It seems like the minute you guys were eliminated in the bubble, everything kind of started falling apart. Did it feel like the change was coming there, or were you surprised to see how much it's changed?
I was surprised. I didn't see any of that coming. It just happened so quick. It was boom, 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 boom. He left. He got traded. He left. He got let go. He went somewhere else. That's how it happens, though. I was a part of it in LA. That happened quick. They got it all. No one's there from that original LA team now. That was only 2-3 years ago. So it goes back to the other question that was asked is how hard is it to become good and stay good? And a lot of times you don't see it coming. And then now they're in a situation now where you don't know what's going to happen. Obviously, I don't play there anymore, so I don't really care. But you're going to have some guys, I'm sure, asking to get traded or not, or I don't know what's going on in there. Maybe they come together. Who knows? It makes no difference to me. But it was definitely surprising.